Good evening, everybody. It's no Crybaby Rideshare coming back at you from the beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Temperature is currently 104 according to the gauge, and it's like 7:45 p.m. I want to welcome everybody to the channel, new subscribers as well, and all my continuing subscribers. I always like to thank everybody for being a subscribers, showing your support. I love it. As you can tell by the title, this whole TRYP situation, let me start off by saying this video is by no means an endorsement for TRYP or to try to dissuade people from TRYP. Okay? Trust me, I have went through numerous videos, hundreds of comments, and let's face it, you're either for it or you're against it. Nothing I can say at this point, nothing anybody else can say at this point is going to change anybody's mind, whether to dissuade them or persuade them to join TRYP or not join TRYP. So let's get that straight from the get-go. Also, as most of you know, I have stayed neutral for the most part on this subject. And also, I always come on my videos for the most part with an unbiased opinion. Being somebody that has been in the industry for 3 years, thousands of rides. There are things that I have seen that I can confidently give my opinion on. And that's what they are. They're my opinions. By no means does it mean that I know everything, because I far from don't. But in my eyes, okay, you have a shit ton of people thinking that TRYP is a scam, okay? And I have my reasons to think that they have the right to think that. I once again, I always believe everybody has a right to their opinions, but when it comes to people saying it's a scam, I see where they are coming from with their comments and with their worries about this company. So, the company, first of all, has a CEO that has a very shady past when it comes to, this type of businesses. That's one red flag. But I'm not even going to call it a red flag. People fuck up. They happen. Look at me. So I'm not even going to call that a red flag. Then everybody wants another red flag is the way, their payment, recruiting payment is being done. Having to pay to go on the platform, paying the people that recruit, makes it look like a pyramid scheme. Okay, that's another one. That where people, will look at this and assume that it's a scam. But technically, will that make it a scam? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. This is all new situations, and from past experiences with the CEO and other companies that have, did their recruitment, the same way. People get the idea that it's a scam, but I'm not going to call it a scam. Just for that simple fact is I don't know enough about. It's like I said, it's all new still. My opinions are going to be about what TRYP could have did, in my eyes, better than what they have done already. One, to me, TRYP seriously premature ejaculated all over themselves with the way they went about, their promoting their business. First of all, you jumped on here. You said you had a launch. You didn't have a launch. You have no working app. You have no working rider app. You have no working driver's app. You have no marketing in place other than your influencers, which I'll get to in a minute as well. Which, if you're going to go up against Lyft and Uber in this situation, you're going to need to get a customer base. And this is where I think you premature ejaculate. You went for influencers first, people recruiting first versus trying to get that customer base, getting customers hyped up about it. Could you have done both at the same time? Of course you could have, but you've chose to do, drivers only first. Is that a bad thing? No. Is it a good thing? Who knows? Like I said, new territory. So you can't, like I said, being new territory, you really can't do much about that. Now, as far as the launch, you didn't launch anything. You know this. You don't have a working app. You can't launch without a working app. So it makes no sense to say we're launching in this city when you haven't launched. All you've done is you've created a lot of hype around your company, and it hasn't really made your company look any better. Hasn't made it look worse a little bit. But hey, everybody runs their business the way they want to run their business. Now, as far as it goes with the influencer situation, this is where I think TRYP let down themselves, and they seriously let down their influencers. If you're going to pay people to come out and, how should I say it, promote your business, you need to give them every tool in the book, all the information they need to properly, promote your business. And TRYP did not do that. TRYP had this hype party, blah, blah, and then the influencers, they didn't have answers to a lot of the questions. Like veteran drivers like myself, we have questions. And those questions, your influencers need to know how to answer these questions, because what has happened is I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not calling names, and it doesn't even matter what their name is, because this falls on TRYP, not technically the influencers. This falls on TRYP because TRYP sent these people out without the proper tools and knowledge that they needed to promote this business properly. So that's one thing I think TRYP needs to, sit back, get a hold of their influencers, and give them the proper information and tools they need to answer people's questions properly. Because now you got people out here, they're gung-ho. People are passionate. When people get something in their mind and they get passionate about it, the emotions start flowing, and then you start getting these people upset, because, and it's not their fault. And in my opinion, is it their fault? Really, no. Like I said, it's TRYP's fault, because they don't have the information. And when you got people drilling you day in, day out, asking you questions that you don't have the proper knowledge about or the information to give these people, sooner or later you're going to start to, as a person that's being drilled nonstop day in, day, you're going to start backlashing on people. And that's what I have seen, is a lot of backlashing. Because, to me, it's kind of like the whole bully situation. You're only going to put up with it so long before you snap at other people that are snapping at you. They're calling you a scammer. They're calling you this and that. And it's not because you're trying to scam people. It's because you don't have the proper information. You weren't given the proper information from the start, from the company, to properly promote your business. So by no means, like I said, do I stick up for anybody. Like I said, I'm an unbiased person. People are going to do what people do. Shit, look at me, for example. I get hate. I got people that, stick by my side 100%. Everything I say, I got people that fucking hate the shit out of me. And I've done nothing to those people. Like I said, you just your opinion will get people all up in your shit for no fucking reason. And I've seen that since day one I started this channel. But this is where TRYP has let down their own people in that respect. Now they're having to backtrack. You see the videos with them having to backtrack on things that they have said that that they need to fix. And another thing, I don't feel that anybody that has driven for 2 months, either Uber or Lyft, have any idea what really rideshare is about. So I hope TRYP chooses to put some people on their payroll that are actually drivers, like they have good experience behind them, that have driven, that can actually be beneficial to think, yeah, you can hear what everybody says, but people, you start getting 30,000 people all saying different shit. It doesn't mean nothing, and you could be talking to somebody that has 100 rides. You could be talking to somebody that has 1,000 rides. You could talk to somebody that has 20,000 rides. You know, you need somebody on there with the experience in the game, that have been in the game for a while, have seen the changes in the game. You know, yeah, you started driving 2 months ago and you did it for 2 months. Well, 3 years ago when I started, it was totally different than it is now. So you need somebody that can, you know, help explain those changes to you, and, you know, hopefully make your business more transparent as far as moving forward, instead of having to backtrack because of misinformation. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to TRYP, is it a bad company? I can't say. Like I said, only time will tell. Is it going to be good for the rideshare industry? Of course. Anytime you got a company that can come in and battle, you know, the two giants, and if they're able to be successful in doing so, time will tell. But they just need to, like I said, take a step back, in my opinion. You know, look at what they have, you know, get their app working first, start recruiting, you know, getting people out there, recruiting customers. Same way Lifted, you know, we all seen the little people in the pink shirts running around with their little business cards, handing them out, giving people, you know, money to pay these people to do that kind of recruitment. Same way as they're doing there with their influencers, trying to influence the drivers and get drivers. Come on. So they definitely need to start working on not just the influencers, but they need to start working on getting those customers. Because you can have 30,000 drivers, but if you ain't got 30,000 customers, you know, people are not going to be able to go out there and make that money that you're claiming they can make. Now, is their pay model good, in my opinion? Yeah, you know, I'll be honest with you. I'll actually say yes. You know, if you have to pay, let's say you pay your $200, let's say they launch, everything's good, app's going, you're making your money. You pay them $200 a month to drive for them. Shit, I'll tell you right now, Lyft took more than $1,000 a month for me, you know, out of my pay every month. So will you make more money? For sure. Yeah, if you pay $200 versus the $1,000 in commissions you pay Uber and Lyft, you're going to come out ahead. So the pay model, in my opinion, that is not a bad thing. Okay, yeah, you pay them $200, but technically you're still paying Uber and Lyft because you're giving them your commissions. So the people that are up in arms about, well, why do I have to pay to drive? Technically you're paying Uber and Lyft anyways to drive. In that respect. So there's really no difference in that, in my opinion. I have my concerns is your safeties. What's going to be your safety stuff? You know, in my personal opinion, this is a dangerous job regardless. And like I said, even Uber and Lyft, and it'll even roll over the TRYP if it comes out and does its thing. You know, safety, there's nothing really much you can do about safety. Safety is, you're always going to have incidences where people are going to get hurt. So, you know, and then you have the thing, the question is, what's going to be the safeguards that TRYP just doesn't become another Uber and Lyft? There's that risk that they will. But at the same time, what's the difference? You already have Uber and Lyft doing it. So now you get company number 3 coming out and doing it. But in the meantime, like, I did talk to one of the influencers, and he made a very good comment. Just like Uber and Lyft waited 3 to 4 years to fuck the drivers like they have. Guess what? If you're one of those TRYP drivers, and they start to become like Lyft and Uber down the road, at least you got 2 or 3 years of good money under your belt before they became shit like Uber and Lyft. So there's no guarantees that they won't become another Uber and Lyft. That's just one of those things. Once again, you'll have to wait and see. Too many people are prejudging everything from the people that are influencers. They're prejudging the company. And in my opinion, come from an unbiased person, you can't make up your mind. You know, yeah, you can make up your mind. You have that right. But you got to let things roll. You got to let things go through. Once again, TRYP, like I said, premature ejaculated all over themselves. You know, with the whole, we're launching this, we're launching that, we're coming out there. You know, they should have just kept it cool. You know, they could have said, hey, yeah, there's a new company coming, and that's laid low, get all their ducks in a row before they decide to come out, you know, like, you know, they did. But, you know, shit, people, like I said, premature premature ejaculation. We've all been there, I'm sure. So that's my opinion on the whole situation. Like I said, I'm not here to dissuade you or persuade you in anything about this company. I just go by what I see and my personal opinions, and we'll just go from that point. And if I get flack for this video, which I'm sure I will, fuck everybody, has a hard on lately for this shit. I do. If I don't, I don't. It doesn't hurt my feelings. Like I said, I'm always going to give my opinion, regardless of whether or not people fucking like it or not. But these are things that somebody who's been in the industry, some things I think, could have been done differently. And hopefully with this, and to be honest with you, hopefully the TRYP thing works out. If it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Yeah, some people are going to be out, their initial $200 startup fees. You know what? You take a risk, just like gambling out here in Vegas. You take a risk. If it turns out to be a scam, the people that, started it and did it, they will have to pay the price. If it turns out that everything rolls well and the company does its thing and then now you got a third company that, you guys are able to make more money. So, you just got to, it's going to take time. It's going to take time. So you're going to have to wait and see. All right. So if you have any comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. Always like, share, subscribe. And this is No Crybaby Rideshare out. Remember, you are the creator of your own destiny. Nobody's going to do it for you. Bye, guys.